What's up, y'all? It's the Yungavelle back at it with another video. Here with my boy Abstract. Y'all seen him before. He's back again. We are shooting video after video, cause why not?
Right.
So Abstract is a close brother of mine, and yesterday he did something which was really dope. And in an effort to strengthen his spirituality, his connection, which you guys know I take very seriously and is a big proponent, I feel, of this channel and the success that's in my life as well. And it was great to hear, it was great to hear that yesterday when you were telling me that. It caught me off guard. Yeah. And it got me a little emotional. No, it didn't.
Right.
It got me, man. I'm happy to I'm happy to hear that. And so tell me what your experience was like. What was that? What was it like? What did they talk about?
Right. So what he's talking about is me going to church. Yeah, that's right. I definitely walked in the church. I was the only F-boy looking dude. Nah, there was probably one or two in there. But
you went to church like this?
Something like that. I definitely had the hat on. This hat says "God bless the haters." So
at least you don't have Tim's on. Normally he has Timberland boots.
True.
Straight to the beach with it.
Got these joints right here. But
doesn't matter.
But yeah, all them white folk was looking at me like I came out of a hippopotamus mouth or some shit. I don't know. I was it was different. But yeah. Look, I used to go to church a while back. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was 16, like I grew up being Hispanic, I grew up Catholic. And you know, we believe in God, we believe in the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, all that. But you don't really practice it, right? Like traditional Catholic homes, they just got a Virgin Mary posted up on the wall. Mm-hmm. They got a couple of saints over here. Somehow they got a statue of Judas, but you know, it's whatever. And they pray to them, and it is what it is. But you know, I never practiced it. I did like my communion, confirmation, all that. It wasn't until I was 16 that I had a homie who he was a blood. This dude went from being in trouble all the time to then going to church, and that was like the talk in school at the time. And I was cool with him. And so at that time we still had AIM, AOL Instant Messenger.
What's AIM? No.
that was the first one of the first forms of social media. Mm-hmm. But you know, that's dinosaur shit right there. But basically he reached out to me via that, invited me to go to church. I'm like, all right, let me do that. You know what I'm saying? After I gave it some thought. And then I started going for a good amount of time. And then I decided I no longer want to pursue that. I knew there was a higher power because I done experienced some things in life that it's like, you know, as much as people want to write it off as a probability and all that, it's like, yo, Stephen Hawking, like, just relax. Like, there's some intelligence out there that ain't just shake up a ball and then bow we all over here, like, you know.
Absolutely.
And so the fact is that even though I knew that there was a higher being, I didn't move as though there was one, and I didn't honor nor respect this higher being. Matter of fact, I'll be cursing out the higher being. I'll be throwing my middle finger at the sky, both of them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like just going crazy, like when life was really not going the way that I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Mm. And so for me to really do this was a huge step. And I think it was a huge step because a lot of people, whether they know it or not, and my boy right here, Yungavelle, whether he knows it or not, played a role in it as well. Just seeing how important it is for people to still have some kind of connection to a higher power, regardless of, you know, any structure, regardless of any definition to what that looks like. You know, it showed me and it proved to me that regardless of what anyone wants to say, like we all have a hole in our soul that says this part of us belongs to God. This part of us belongs to a higher power, a higher being. You know what I'm saying? And so it only makes sense for us to work at our maximum potential, our best ability. We have to surrender to some kind of higher authority. You know what I'm saying? You can't lead if you can't follow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so when I went to church, the message basically was about temptation, you know, and it was perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? Because for me specifically, Miami is not easy to just look the other way. The point of it is that to be tempted is not a sin, right? It what it does is it makes you human, but it's what you do with that can either be productive or it cannot be. You know what I'm saying? And the fact is that you want to give yourself the best opportunity to win in those situations of temptation, because some temptations are not as serious as others. And then once you identify what these temptations are, you pretty much have better cognition and better understanding as to like, what do I need to do to either A, not put myself in those positions in the first place, or B, when those situations happen, have a game plan. Just like, you know what I'm saying, like baseball players or whatever, they got a little manual in the back of their pocket. All right, if the ball gets hit over here, I move here. If it, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not about avoiding it, then when it actually happens, what are the go-to steps that I need to go through in order to make sure that that I don't fall to temptation?
Right. And enter one of the best ways that you can face and overcome temptation: no fat retention.
Yeah.
Something that we love so much on this channel. And as men, what we are tempted most by is sex. Sex, women, all that stuff, porn. When you attack those temptations head on, what happens is you strengthen the muscle of discipline. That's why I know when I first brought this up to you, you know, you was, as most people are, even when I first got into it, I was a little bit like, I don't even know about that. I don't know if that's legit. Why do people do that? Why do people retain the seed?
Yeah.
And then after you do it for a certain amount of time, after you face that temptation and you see what it's like when you stand up to yourself, when you stand up to things that are going on within you, you're like, man, if I can do this, the outside world is cake. You know, the trials and tribulations that come from the outside world are easy, because the discipline that you've instilled in you now gets trickled out into everything that is external now.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's an easy way, and I've said this before, it's an easy way for people to separate yourself from the pack. It's an easy way for people to feel there's something different about you. Because it's not only that the discipline, you know, people can sense that discipline, but it's also the testosterone itself. When people, women, they sense that. And to be honest, it's like, I'm so thankful that I've been on this path, because it's helped hone me to be a leader and see those qualities about myself that I want to accentuate, not only for myself but for others. You know, when you do that for others, when you lead by example, one of the best feelings is looking back and saying, yo, let's do 2 weeks together, retention. Right?
This guy's a nut right here.
Yo, but that's a fact.
No pun intended. Pause. But it's interesting, you know, because we talked about this a little bit. Like, this is such a sexually driven society, like from a marketing perspective, you know. And me personally, this was my revelation or my enlightenment. I don't even know if it's really a revelation like that. It could be, but for me, it was a revelation. Was sex is being used to keep our minds hazed.
Definitely.
Because when I was on You know what I'm saying? I probably ain't going more than I ain't even gonna say fuck that shit. But
No.
when I was doing alright, when it was like two, you know, I went like a good little 2 weeks or whatever, and I'm chilling. Yo, what ended up happening is my mind was a lot clean. It was a lot cleaner. It was a lot clearer. Like my thoughts was like they was moving like race cars. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they was penetrating. You know what I'm saying? Like barriers that I probably would have had if I was spilling the kids. You know, dropping the kids off or whatever. However, you basically are like kind of in a drunken state of mind, but not exactly like a drunk person, but it's different. It's like getting off a drug type of shit, because you basically are like when you know what I'm saying, you doing marijuana, whatever else, you know, you're releasing dopamine, and pheromones and things like that. Same thing when you get in, you know what I'm saying, when you're releasing and all that, and your brain can't think at its highest capacity in that situation, because a lot of it is being clouded by superficial things at that, you know, things that really it's not outside of the sexual purpose. It doesn't really do too much more. Like once I finish with a person, like what is they butt gonna do for me?
And that's why, you know, we're gonna wrap it up. That's why attacking your own temptations, the things that try to stray you from your center, which might not necessarily be good for you, it's so good to attack those. So with that being said, my brother has agreed to 2 weeks, so let's tap back in and we'll see if he made it for the 2 weeks.
Yo,
Tap in the comments. Let me know if you think my brother got it. I got faith in him. You got faith in yourself? Pray for this man.
I got faith.
Lord, pray for this man.
I got faith.
2 weeks,
But
no fap, no edging, and retention. 2 weeks, and we're gonna see what the difference is. I'm actually gonna bring you back on in 2 weeks, and you'll see if he makes it. I don't want to say if, when you make it, I'll bring you back on, and you let us know how you did.
I'm gonna pull up with Jadakiss in my sound speaker. We gon' make it.
Now you gotta pull up. You will have already made it. You need to pull it with.
But we gon'
The champ is here.
Hey.
The champ is here.
Okay, I ain't mad at that.
So, temptation, guys. That was a dope thing to hear. That, you know, that was something that was brought up in your first time back into church, and, you know, getting back in touch with the spiritual side of things. It was dope that was something that came up, and it's perfect. It's perfect because you're gonna see, man, when as you embark on this retention path earnestly, there's only been the sky's the limit, man. Like this is nothing. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that, brother.
Yes, sir.
So, like I always say, if you guys got anything from this video, be sure to share it, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Like I said in the previous video, which will probably come out after this one actually, him and I got some music coming out together, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm going to put Abstract's info in the description. Anything you want to say to the people, man?
Stay up, and I'm saying, don't watch no porn.
Stay disciplined, man. Discipline equals freedom, just like Jocko Willing says. And guys, like I always say, until next time, remember, a greater perspective can lead to a greater connection.
Jackpot.